We have been suspicious of the subterranean motives of certain individuals who, late in their life, become authors, having never previously shown any interest in writing. Of course, the skeptical viewer may have the same concerns for those who seek to be social media stars late in their career. We understand the mechanics of free will and choice as being synonymous. We do not adhere to the popular belief in free will, nor can choice be a viable option when a greater force is encountered, such as nature. That was an explicit contradiction. Moving on. We have written extensively regarding the class of 17 and concluded that they are ambiguous, and that we were incapable of reaching a reason for my interest in them. Of course, the reasoning that led to that paper's conclusion was specious, as if I don't know why I do what I do. My interest in identical twins dates from the time I first saw the boys from Brazil on broadcast television when I was around 10 years old. Although I have known identical twins, Braden was a captive audience and Denver worked across the street. My initial interest was to study their interpersonal interactions. Whatever meager insights I discovered were inconsequential to what I discovered regarding how the group interacted among themselves and between upper and lower classmen. They are normal and well adjusted. We conclude that their various support systems are strong. Over the last few months we have lived vicariously through the high schoolers, imagining not what could have been, but what should have been. Some time ago we researched foster care, and by the time to write the paper we also described it as stranger care, since most children don't graduate high school, are unemployed, homeless, suffer from stress levels twice those of combat veterans, mental illness, and finally, abuse drugs and alcohol. Stranger care results in the societal, physical, mental, and moral degradation of the foster children. Foster care is unnatural, and the poor results are well documented and consistent over many decades and are not surprising. The state is the most powerful force, second only to nature, and is guided by few lawmakers who are elected by the unaware majority. When the state separates identical twins, two lives are adversely affected. For what nature has joined, the state has put asunder. The powerful is the cause, and the reaction of the weaker is the effect. Choice, then, is the illusion between those with power and those without power. The state does not grant me the illusion of choice. I cannot effect any change. Therefore there is nothing to do. Over many years I have been at places I don't go, and doing things I don't do, so I have concluded that I had a brother. Of course any attempts, free will or choice so-called, will always encounter the power of the state and the legal fictions associated with our coming into being. When I say I won't lie to you, I do so with the knowledge of the state lying to me, continuing to lie to me. Imagine talking with your doctor when he asks if there is a family history of heart disease, high blood pressure, or cancer, and responding that you don't have that information. You feel stupid, and have to explain that you are a second-class citizen, because that information is a state secret. The high schoolers are jokesters, so when Moses sent me 2 pics in early August, I knew they were of me, and I concluded he was trying to pull a fast one. But I couldn't place the restaurant's decor, and then I realized it was not me in the pictures. My suspicions of having a twin were vindicated with the strongest possible evidence. I should not have been alone during my formative years. That my life should have been different. I subsequently interviewed the waitstaff. He had never been there before. The pictures tell a lot. Had I not been dealing with the dull and ignorant and their asinine opinions on religion and politics, I would have checked my phone sooner. I would have had Moses engage him, delay him. I would have been there to meet him, and I would not have to say anything, for he is me. He would know what I would feel, and although the decades of frustration and anguish and misery could not be justified, they would be insignificant to what I would gain. Can you imagine telling people that you don't know your own family, legal fictions aside, no ancestry, no nothing? You just feel stupid. Can you understand why I didn't want to talk about personal subjects? Because it would lead not to unexpected questions, but strange and barely believable answers. We know the victims of stranger care are failures, and we now know the reason why they are failures. They did not have strong and varied support systems, church, family, and friends. as contrasted to the high schoolers. As Denver noted, people can lead their lives in obedience to revealed religion or be guided by reason. A reversal of nature would be subverting my mind to someone who says they speak for God, and as a direct consequence of that, I accept that they can attempt to dictate my behavior. So you now know why I had a distrust of organized religions. We initially thought that the stress level of stranger care children being twice that of combat veterans was grossly exaggerated. However, with no family, no church, and no friends for support, the result is doing it all by yourself all the time. So yes, we can understand it, because we experienced it. Of course, there was not a time before the stress, so we do not have a carefree time to compare it to. In conclusion, time will bear out our observations and conclusions of the high schoolers. I personally have no doubt regarding their successes, whether familial, personal, or financial. The gentle researcher will reach his own informed conclusions on the validity of attempting a new career move late in life, of being set up for failure, and the appropriateness of having the Greek goddess of victory as a corporate name.